and welcome to the Pizza Marketplace podcast. I'm Mandy Detwiler, editor of Pizza Marketplace, and I'm here with Eric Soler, founder of Old Scratch Pizza in Dayton, Ohio. Eric, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, let's jump right in and talk about Old Scratch Pizza. You have a strong background with a commercial equipment company. You worked for Hobart, if I'm correct.
For a lot of years, 10 years. Yeah.
And a formal culinary education.
Yeah. Lots of things that contribute to a restaurant. Doesn't necessarily make you any better at it, but but I seem to can't get out of the industry.
How did that combination of experience prepare you for the unique challenges of launching your own restaurant concept, especially one focused on specific high-end equipment like a Neapolitan wood-fired ovens?
I've been thinking about restaurants or doing something my whole life. I mean, I used to joke that I was a wantrepreneur, that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, but never pulled the trigger. And it just took a lot of years of experience. I went to culinary school. I have a degree in food and beverage management. I worked in restaurants, hotels, catering companies. And then I left the industry and I got a real job in marketing for a food equipment company, Hobart. Worked for Hobart for a while, Vulcan Range, which a lot of people know. That experience actually was invaluable. I mean, working for a corporation that was essentially a manufacturing company. I mean, restaurants really are manufacturing operations, right? We take like raw goods and we add value to them and then sell finished goods to our customers. I mean, it's essentially a manufacturing operation. And, learning from Hobart is owned by Illinois Tool Works, one of the best manufacturing companies in the world, and learning some of those management techniques there has really helped me. It's really been critical to the kinds of things that I think about every day in our operations of running a restaurant. So, it's just an amalgamation of all the different experience. I mean, it took me until I was in my late 40s to finally pull the trigger and open a restaurant. So, and I'm a glutton for punishment. So here I am.
So you open a restaurant. Why pizza? What was it about pizza that was attractive for you?
Actually I love pizza. I mean, I was thinking about a lot of things, but I kept coming back to pizza in my experience with Hobart in sort of corporate world. In my later time, I traveled quite a bit for work. And when I would go to a city, I would go to 3 or 4 pizza places in a night. I'm more of a student of the business. Like I'm more of a restaurateur than I am a pizza chef. I love pizza. I can make pizza. My team is much better at it now than I am. But I saw some concepts out in the world that I thought I could morph into what would be a really great opportunity, what eventually turned into Old Scratch Pizza. I saw some concepts out there that were, I saw some things with multiple wood-fired ovens. I saw, I was in a concept, and I saw this space that sort of B-class real estate, which is what we are, sort of industrial real estate originally, that had big communal tables, which we have today. But that place didn't serve any alcohol. And I looked at it and I saw Neapolitan pizza beer hall. And then once I had that concept, I was like, okay, that's what we're going to do. And that's sort of where Old Scratch started. And, we're kind of true to that today. And, it's be 9 years next month. And since the first one opened, and we're trying to make it happen every day.
What was the biggest culture shock, if any, moving from a director's role in marketing at a large corporation to a hands-on restaurant owner?
Well, I kind of knew what I was going to get, but because I'd been in the restaurant business for a while before, starting when I was 15, I started in the restaurant business. And so I knew what it was going to be. This was my first ownership opportunity, but the biggest wasn't a shock, but the biggest reality of doing that is, all of a sudden you don't have a steady income, you don't have a 401k, you lose your health insurance, all of these things that are so critical to just life. All of a sudden you're on your own, and that's probably the biggest shock. But it turned out to be it turned out to be a great decision for me. Doesn't always work out for everybody, but it's worked out for me.
You opened the first Old Scratch Pizza in what you called an unusual part of town. What made you see the potential in that location, and how did you convince others that it was a good idea?
Yeah, the area of town we built it in was mostly industrial. Honestly, a lot of drug rehabilitation operations. I mean, it's not a great area. However, I just drove past it every day on my way home from work, and I saw this building sitting there, and I saw that, it was a couple of blocks away from our big hospital. It was right around the corner from University of Dayton. It's right on the edge of downtown. It was close enough to University of Dayton Stadium to be one of the closest places with a parking lot to UD Stadium. And I just saw that I saw the potential in it. And, we were pretty busy from day one. I mean, it took off right off the bat. So we were definitely fortunate in that way.
Many first-time restaurateurs struggle with management and organizational systems. What specific skills from your corporate background were most transferable to the restaurant business, and how did you implement those from day one?
I mean, I just think the structure of systems, well, just to be clear, we are way more organized than we were today. I mean, even though I did have all of that experience, looking back now at how we were 9 years ago, we didn't have a quarter of the systems that we have today to operate a business. But I knew that certain things were important. And what was really important to me is that, I don't think anybody who's ever worked in the restaurant industry, it's no secret that restaurants can sometimes be a kind of a notoriously crappy place to work. They can be hard, long hours, dirty, also just sometimes hostile. There's often, substance abuse issues. There's alcohol everywhere. And, we just wanted to create an environment. We just knew that it could be different. We wanted to create an environment that was like super family friendly. We have 80% in some of our stores, 80% of our staff are in high school. And we wanted to have a place where families and parents felt good about sending their kids. And so, we have just like this principle about kindness that is like pervasive, and like kind to each other and kind to our community and kind to our and kind to our vendors and kind to our customers. And it's like really important to us that we have that kind of culture. And so wrapping that culture along with just knowing that good systems around human resources and people development, and then the systems of manufacturing that I learned that, the kitchens, but there were certain things that I learned at Hobart that, really transferred into running a kitchen efficiently. So.
Okay. So you opened your third location right in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah. Well, it was really our second location. Well, third one was halfway, like tail end of the pandemic. Second one was about 4 months into the pandemic.
You mentioned that being in the pizza industry was a major advantage to that. Could you elaborate on the key factors beyond carryout and delivery that allowed you to not only survive, but also grow during that challenging time?
Yeah, well, I mean, carry out and delivery, and you can't not talk about carry out delivery because that's clearly part of it. I would say that one of the things that helped us the things that went into it were we already had strong online ordering. We had strong email marketing at that point already. So it was really easy. It was very straightforward to communicate to our customers what we were doing and how to order from us and how to accomplish that. So that was critical. One of the things that was a big advantage for us, frankly, is we owned all of our own real estate. And so we could manipulate parking lots and route people in whatever way we saw fit that might be different if somebody didn't own their own real estate. So I mean, I think that and we just doubled down. We just said, we know that this is going to end someday. And when we come out of it, we want to make sure that our staff are still with us, that we're still employing those people. We employed as many people as we possibly could. And so that we would come out of it. And we implemented all kinds of new systems. We switched POS systems in the middle of the POS. We switched online ordering platforms in the middle of it. And just to make sure that we were coming out of that stronger than we went into it.
Now, you operate a commissary kitchen, is that right?
We do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You had told me before that it was for consistency and to allow your restaurant staff to focus on making pizzas in-house.
Yeah.
How did you decide what was made at the commissary versus what was made fresh at each location?
I think that when you say, why did we do it? I mean, the first thing is consistency. The second thing is we were spending one of the things about our restaurant is we are very, we're a scratch kitchen. We have no freezers. We have no microwaves. And we make every dressing from scratch. We make every sauce from scratch. We like our mushrooms are pre-roasted. I mean, we do all kinds of things that are very labor intensive. And we were just spending so much time on prep. And as you moved to the second location, it was all of a sudden very clear that we were not getting the same product at both locations. And then when we decided to open the third location, we to this day, I think we've pretty much done it. Now we've pretty much taken every single thing we can out of the restaurants that is not what we would call fresh prep or salad prep. So cutting lettuce, cutting tomatoes, rolling meatballs to be roasted, things that there's just that don't transport well. But anything else that can possibly transport well, we do it at the commissary. And the reason why is we really want the people at the restaurant to just be focusing on making the best pizzas possible and have the best ingredients in order to do it. And it gives you all sorts of other advantages that are helpful at the store. As an example, we make our dressings and then we package them in the exact size packaging that goes in the size squeeze bottle we use, right? So you just open up a package, empty it into the squeeze bottle, and you're done. It's those kind of efficiencies that we're just tweaking all the time in order to make it easier on the staff to produce kind of like what we think is world-class quality.
Why make so much in-house? I mean, I know why, but
I don't know. I'm just never satisfied. I'm never satisfied with we've tasted things and, we think our ranch dressing is the best. And I mean, people rave about it. We think our house dressing, there's nothing like it out there in the marketplace. And a lot of dressings are a perfect example where, I mean, when I go into a restaurant and I taste dressing, I can immediately tell if it was homemade or it came from a jar. Right. I mean, there's certain quality to the emulsifiers and to the stabilizers that make bulk dressing. Nothing again. I mean, it's just what it is. You can't, I mean, shelf stable dressing, it just has a particular quality to it. And we see ourselves as doing something different. I mean, we think that that's our advantage over, I think if there's one advantage that we try and have against, whoever might be a competitor. Although I think it's more of a community, like I have lots of pizza friends and I think it's that we are often willing to go to lengths that most people are not willing to go to in order to have a quality product. I mean, we make all of our gluten-free doughs from scratch in a very tedious process. It's a multi-day process in order to make gluten-free dough. We make every single dressing from scratch. We're roasting whole heads of cauliflower for appetizers. We're just doing things that most restaurants a lot do. And I mean, I admire anybody who even gets up in the morning and goes to a restaurant and opens the doors and of any kind and runs them. But I mean, I think that that's something that I get excited about is really how, one of the things I often joke about our business is I say that in some ways we have the world's worst business model. Like we try and make world-class pizza in the most difficult way possible as fast as you possibly can. Like that is our strategy. And but you know, we teach 16-year-old kids how to do it every day. And so it's something, it's a way of running a business that we're really proud of.
Neapolitan and wood-fired pizzas are not easy to do, and
Right.
you are using young people as your pizza makers.
Right.
How does training factor into that?
Well, it's a combination. I mean, it's training. Training is a huge part of it. I mean, as we move forward and as we grow, I mean, we are having to learn that if we're going to grow and we're going to have more people, that pure wood fired pizzas are just really difficult. It's a really hard proposition. I mean, we are in our newest restaurant, we have a hybrid gas and wood oven. So sort of gas maintains the temperature, wood adds theater and flavor. Um, and we find that easier to train on. But I mean, it is, first of all, the kids, they're not all kids, but a lot of them are in high school. I mean, a lot of our there's basically the three positions are, you know, you're a stretcher or you're a topper or you're an oven operator. And the oven operators are, you know, some people don't want to do it, right? I mean, some people don't even want to do it, but when you want to do it, it's something that they actually take a lot of pride in, you know, and we, and we just have a process that we go through. You usually start on stretching, you're there for a while, then you go to topping. And then once you get to ovens, it's, you know, it's a multi-week process usually of getting them to be proficient, because especially in the locations that have pure wood ovens, I mean, you know, it's not just about turning pizzas. It's about, you know, it's about fire management and how much ash can be in the oven, and when do you put a log in and when don't you, and how do you get rolling flame that gets good good character in your pizzas. There's a lot to it. And you know, we have dedicated trainers also that are specifically focused on training different positions, and ovens are certainly one of them. I got a guy who does some training. I mean, he was the very first person I ever hired, and he's still training people today to teach kids how to run ovens.
Okay. Now, you've called Old Scratch's Pizza Midwesternly Neapolitan.
Yeah.
Break down what that means exactly.
Yeah. So Midwesternly Neapolitan basically means that we honor all of the heritage of Neapolitan pizza, but we put it in a wrapper that's more approachable for, I think, most clienteles, but a Midwest clientele. And the reason I'd say that is the only Italian word on our whole menu is margherita, for a margherita pizza, right? You can get a chicken bacon ranch pizza. You can get, we serve pepperoni. We've got hot honey pizzas, but we're doing, and you know, we have, if you were to come and want to do a Neapolitan certification of our restaurant, we follow all of the rules. The only thing is we probably tweak our, you know, the hydration of our dough and our technique a little bit in order to have a little bit firmer structure. You know, when even today, people will come into the restaurant and say, oh, this pizza is floppy, you know, because Neapolitan pizza can be like that. Ideally, it's not. We try to have more of a structure in our pizza, but they don't, I mean, you know, in Naples, you know, pizza with a knife and fork, it's so floppy. And, but we are trying to just have it be in a more approachable, not sort of, this isn't an Italian restaurant, basically.
Right. Tell me about your Cones for a Cause program.
Yeah, something we're pretty proud of. It was actually my wife's idea originally. We have, for dessert in the restaurant, we have soft serve ice cream. You can have any flavor that you want as long as it's vanilla. And dessert ice cream is technically free, but you just go but 100% of donations, either cash or credit card, go to local charities. So we're creeping up on 350 $25,000 that we've raised so far for local charities. Yeah. And every time we open a new restaurant, it's more and more. So we are pretty proud of it. It's also like culturally, it's done a lot for us. Just it's actually, in addition to doing something great for the community. I mean, it is. There are marketing aspects to it as well. I mean, the charities that we work with closely. They really promote us, and that has been very helpful. Our employees are something our employees are proud of. It's also the way that we position our restaurants are hybrid service, right? So you order at a counter, you order food at one counter, you order adult beverages at another counter, and then we serve you. Then we run the food, we serve it, we clear the tables, we actually course salad and then pizza. So it's sort of hybrid. So it's sort of a combination between between counter service and full service. But we actually put our ice cream machines and our ice cream service at the bar. So it like makes even the fact that there's a big bar in here kind of family friendly, because you'll have people lined up in line for beer and kids lined up in line for ice cream, like right next to each other. And, so the same bartenders are also ice cream tenders. And it's just I think it just really makes the environment fun. And it's just great. We have these at our ice cream machines. We have these big glass boxes that we empty once a month. And so we just shove, hopefully nobody wants to come in and break in and steal our cash, but we just shove cash into these glass boxes over the course of a month. So you'll see all of this money in front of the ice cream machines, and it's good. It's a good time.
Now, you've mentioned to me before that your advice is to keep the concept as simple as possible.
Yeah.
And do as few things as you can, the best you can. That
Yeah.
seems to go against the trend of many large menus. And sometimes pizzerias overcomplicate their menus. What do you think is the biggest risk of overcomplicating a menu?
Just complexity. I mean, it is just every time you introduce complexity into the operation, it is one more time you can make a mistake. It's one more time that something can go bad that doesn't sell. And I mean, again, this will go back to manufacturing days, but the company I worked for, this company ITW, their whole business philosophy is this 80-20 philosophy, that 80% of your outputs come from 20% of your inputs, which basically means that I guarantee that most people, if you run a product mix on your menu, you'll find that 20% of your menu items account for 80% of your overall revenue, right? So the more that you focus on the few menu items that are bringing you revenue, we did this early on. We used to have something like, I'd say we had 8 red pizzas and 8 white pizzas, right? And when you ran the product mix, you'd find out that the white pizzas only accounted for 20% of our sales, right? But they had all the complexity because all the red pizzas start the same, but all the white pizzas started differently. Like each one was kind of individual and unique. And early on, we ran that analysis, and then we reset, and I think we got down to 4 white pizzas. You know what? It's fine. Nobody said anything because there were so few sales of them, right? So everybody always thinks, if I just do this one thing, somebody's going to come in. Or if I take this one thing off the menu, somebody's not going to come in. And the reality is, if you just do the core of what you're doing as well as possible, that's what people will come. That's what people come for. You just need to do a product mix of your menu and you'll see. I guarantee you.
Right. Now, I guess my last question is, if you had a piece of advice to give to a fledgling operator, somebody who's just entering the business, having done this yourself, what would you tell them?
Be simple, keep it simple, and have a plan, right? I mean, there's no, like, the thing that I think that we've done that, again, I learned from the corporate world, is to really, even every year, have an annual plan. Like, first of all, have a business plan when you're going to start a business. I mean, I still use it, right? I mean, I have a plan that we work on every year. Like, these are the things that we're going to do in this next year, and have a plan and stick to it. I mean, all the rest of it is, you can find business plans online. You can find, advice from people all over the internet about how to run a restaurant. The biggest thing is keep it simple in the beginning and have a plan and stick to it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us today.
Yeah,
This has been awesome.
sure. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
That'll do it for this episode of the Pizza Marketplace podcast, and we'll catch you next time.